which is, this working together issue where you have the insurer, where you have a large insured kind of claim. And Tom Olson, who I've worked with in the past, in his years at Chartis, Tom, talk to us a little bit about this, the push and pull and trying to get this cooperative relationship to minimize the ultimate loss to the insured and the insurer.
Yeah, it was like trying to get a drink in the Gypsy bar last night. It has to be a joint venture. You have to work together to get the ultimate goal accomplished. And I think everybody will agree that, approaching something from a joint perspective, we have to remember that the underlying claim is what we're trying to get rid of, to deny or to pay the least amount of money we can on. So it's very important from an early stage to have good communications with our policyholders, with David and Jim and everybody else out there, and work together to resolve the case. Get the best team on board as early as possible. Get the best experts from the Magnas of the world to the Ringlers. When you bring in additional parties like that and additional experts, it gives you extra eyes and background and knowledge to get a case resolved and work it up. A lot of times we'll work with non-waiver agreements. Let's put it, a lot of my cases are complex, multi-policy years, multi-carriers, multi-defendants. We'll do non-waiver agreements, say let's fight about the number of occurrences or SIR issues at a later date. And once again, that all, we're looking for certainty, as anybody else is, as to, let's get this resolved early at a good price. So I think that's the main focus.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, sometimes more issues, as long as you can keep them under control, they give you a lot of opportunities. So the fact that there are coverage issues involved in a case doesn't mean that you can't work together. It's just, as you say, Tom, you've got to put non-waivers in place and make sure that you've got your counsel advising you correctly. But there's a lot of shared knowledge, and if you eliminate some of the big exposure underneath you, it gets easier to resolve those coverage issues. So I'm one who's pretty happy with a lot of different issues and found it to be helpful because it prevents you from polarizing. When there's a lot of balls in the air, it allows for some creative solutions to things. So find it good.
Thanks. Yeah, from my perspective, I think when you have a situation where you have the coverage in place, we get along quite well. I think where it becomes very difficult is when we have a dispute, and I don't know what the solution is, but we're trying to put a little bit more energy into resolving those up front, because when you're in a situation where the carrier is denying coverage in its entirety and there's a dispute about whether there's any coverage at all, it makes a very difficult situation to really get aligned and on the same page. So, and it becomes a bit of a no man's land. So I don't know what the right solution is, as I said, but I would urge you and your colleagues to work together with us to maybe get that resolved up front in some way, and even if it's expediting the arbitrations that we sometimes find ourselves in on coverage disputes.